Let's go. Let's go. Yes, it is time. It is time. Thank you so much for making the time. Yes, we're now in session. Thank you very much for making the time each and every Wednesday. We actually do come here on this particular platform to be able to talk to you about various topical issues. We scale the heights to just try to understand some of those issues from different perspectives. As always, my name is Eugene. And I chose to stand here because on this particular screen you have an array of topics, several of them that we've done, over 100 that we've done right here on this particular show. And of course, it is time for us to have yet another installment of the summit. Tonight on the program, we have a very interesting conversation that we'll be having right here on this particular set. And of course, we'll be trying to understand and trying to just navigate or try to understand the navigation around the next term. Of course, the government is actually taking shape already. We know that the Prime Minister has already been sworn in. The Parliament is intact because the members of Parliament have also taken their oath of office. And I want to believe that the electoral process is coming to full cycle. We want to just get perspectives from representatives from across different sectors here in Rwanda. Allow me to introduce our panelists right here in the program. I have Parfine Mizero, who is account manager and copywriter at 63 Inc. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Also with us is none other than Eric Kwizera, who's a healthcare practitioner and AUSP country director. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you.
We were actually talking on a lighter note earlier on that there's a lot of faith on this show today.
Absolutely.
Kwizera. Mizero. And of course we have Andy. Andy is I don't think I have to even introduce this gentleman. You know, he's always in our living rooms, in our ears, of course as a music producer, songwriter, singer, and of course a community advocate. Thank you very much, Andy, for making time.
You're welcome.
I want to start off with Parfine because I'm always told ladies always go fast. And so for me, the conversation I want to have with you, a question I want to ask is, so far the electoral process, you know, the mood has gotten to its climax. Of course, you know, what is supposed to be done has been done. There was the campaigns, we went to vote, and now we know who won. And of course, people are now taking their rightful positions in the different seats. I want to understand from you, is the hangover over for you? You know, first of all, let's just start from there. Are you feeling like, this thing should have just extended, or how are you feeling so far, looking at all this cycle, the way it has gotten today?
Well, we even wished it never ended because, you know, the whole climax, the whole enthusiasm of people, the whole fun around the campaign, the whole idea of being part of something that we actually love and something that actually entices us. We're like, second heaven.
Yeah?
Yes.
You wanted it to continue on?
Definitely.
Right, interesting. How about you, Eric?
So for me, there's some moment which I still want to hear in my mind. The songs, the people, how they were. So this is the moment which have to be calm, eerie, so we may enjoy it again. So, but it's not possible because you have to wait for other time to come.
To come for the same.
Yeah.
Andy, I'm happy to hear from you. I mean, your colleagues, I don't know how about you in terms of those who, you know, took part in participating in the campaign songs and all that. I mean, I want to understand from you as a creative, I mean, how is this full cycle looking like for you?
It is actually amazing because just like my friends here just said, it was magic.
Yeah.
It was the first time I would say that we have seen the collaboration with the government and of course all generations. Youth were participating, all type of people, the musicians, the creatives, everyone with whatever they're doing, they came along to participate, to celebrate, but also to take the decision of what they want Rwanda to look like in this coming 5 years.
Right.
So I think it was an opportunity for Rwandan to choose what they really want to become, but also it gives us a lot of homework because just like our president just said in the campaign, it's not about only one person.
Yeah.
It's about everyone and the unity behind it.
Yeah.
So it was amazing, and just like they said, sometimes we do miss it.
Yeah.
But also it shows how much Rwandans really want to party.
Right.
And I feel like there's
we are a happy
more
nation, right?
opportunities.
And some people in some quarters usually say Rwanda'S are sad. And I wonder where they get that from. I want to pick your brains also as we come around again, especially on the key events, key moments. I know it's been a while since they took place. Of course, we're talking about the swearing in. It was the highlight of everything else of the president. President Paul Kagame. What stood out for you from your own perspectives before we get now into the real work of the next 5 years?
To me, what stood out was, I always come back to this, is the participation of youth. Because we are seeing youth taking the decisions of what they want to become, and actually now not be just the people who are planned for, but actually come on ground and actually be the one who are doing the things. So participation of youth was, to me, one of the things that actually made sense a lot, and it speaks to me because I'm like, okay, there has been a time back then when you were like, people are planning for you, but now this is the time to
actually be on the table,
be on the wheel.
Interesting, interesting. Eric, I mean, what is it that you remember? You say this.
Yeah. For what I saw, people really knows what they need.
Yeah.
So they have to choose best for them.
Yeah.
So they have to create the environment they need.
Yeah.
So that's why they say they understand what is election, what is campaigning, what is this. So this is the moment where people have to sit down and say, oh, we have chosen someone who is going to navigate all the issues that we have.
Interesting.
So that's what I can eliminate for now.
Right. Parafrin, the whole continent was here, yeah?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So my main takeaway was more of this was not a presidential campaign, but more of a people campaign, a Rwandan campaign. So it wasn't more of, let's go out there, put our, how do you call it again? Put our candidate out there, but more of Rwandans showing what they are standing for. Rwandans showing to the outside world that this is our decision. So now the engagement of young people, the engagement of the whole Rwandans as a whole, seeing just even people from lower backgrounds are the ones being up there. They're like, we are here for our country, we are here for our candidates. So for me, it was more of we actually love our country.
Right.
So now we choose what's best for us.
What's best for our country.
Yes.
Now, I want to pick up now. The next 5 years, the real work has actually begun. And I want to understand also from the sector that you represent, even before we look at the next 5 years, let's just go back memory lane. Let's take a few steps back and just try to understand what will you be comparing the previous mandate to this new mandate that is coming. What are the things that really you feel in the past mandate that stood out for you, that you saw and felt, and you'd like to see even more happening along those lines from your perspective, first as a young person, as a Rwandan, and within your own sector that you represent?
Perfect. Great question. So I'm here representing, first of all, I'm into the creative industry with the 63 Inc., but I'm also into NGO as a civil society organization, Peace and Love Proclaimers. Yes. So now, as a young person, I'll talk about two main things: inclusion. No, actually three. Let's make it three. Inclusion, development, and security. So first of all, when it comes to inclusion, young people, we are no longer the seconds in decision making. Young people, we are no longer outsiders when it comes to our country's decision making, when it comes to involvement in every sector, be it politics, be it businesses, be it entrepreneurship, we are all included. So when it comes to development, I would say this generation, actually, we are the ones who are lucky enough to witness what it means, what the word development means, the actual definition of development. We've seen what our country has been through. We've seen different challenges that our elders faced, but we are lucky enough to not be facing those kind of challenges because we got a perfect leader who's bringing forth development and innovation. And then when it comes to security, that's supposed to be number one, because young people, if we were to be in what our country passed through, if we were to witness what our elders witnessed, maybe yes, we'll be strong enough to do what they did, but the fact that they did the most and are actually trying to do more than that to sustain the country's security right now with everything going on, that's just perfect. Yeah. So now with the past mandate, that has been like a core objective of the government, but then with this coming mandate, I'm just looking forward for more.
More, right?
Yes.
Right. Interesting. How about you, Eric?
So for me, the past mandate and this coming mandate, I have a full of positive anticipation and hopes, because especially in my field as youth, which are in medical field, it was a big problem. We was having an issue where the service was at low quality. But for now, you see, the past mandate is a bit developing, high speed. So our leader, what I thank for him, is the one who think big and do faster. Yeah. So this mandate ended with a great changes in healthcare system. So I can say we have new emergent medical system, we have new infrastructures, innovations. Yeah. So this is going to make medical field like a tourism for people to come and invest in it, so the people of the country get sustainable, healthy system and good quality. So I hope what I'm expecting before in this term coming, it's bigger than what
you witnessed in the past mandate. Andy, I mean, as a creative as well, I mean, it's interesting to hear also from your perspective. And of course, as I ask you this question, I also am curious to understand that the president will not do this on his own.
Definitely.
We cannot put everything on his doorstep, much as the ball or the buck stops with him as the leader of the country and the government. But also let's think about, like you mentioned, he said in his speeches, it is not just about me. Let's compare the past mandate, people around him, those who he mandated to work with him and support him in achieving his vision. What stood out for you in that kind of cooperation, in that kind of accountability, and ultimately what do you anticipate to see along the same lines in the next mandate?
You've just said it so well. Everything lied, yes, in the beginning into creation. Because as they just said, Rwanda was coming from almost nothing, you know, and every single industry, there was no industry that's more important than the other. Everything has to rise all together. But now when we start seeing the decision making, how the past mandates, leaders have tried as much as they can to prioritize what it was even spoken about some time back as a word was criticizing. How do you invest in technology when there is still people that needs to eat? How do you invest in investing in infrastructure, in investing in different promotion as Rwandan in different teams and etc. when we're still seeing Rwanda developing? But I think it's a matter of, yes, looking at the bigger picture and not just focusing on where we are, but more to what we could become. And so to me, what's gave me more hope that it's actually possible is the accountability in our country. Because it's not like we have many, but the question becomes, can we use everything that we have to serve the purpose and that is supposed to serve in terms of health and security, in entertainment, in trade and etc. And so to me, what's coming now is more of the sustainability of what we have created as Rwandans. And we are seeing hope. Yes, the accountability, we're seeing youth being engaged, but also we're seeing a rise of connectivity. Now Rwandans are more connected than ever, be it from our past. Today we are seeing everyone included. It's the inclusion that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Everyone with their skills, with their capacity is there. And moreover, we're seeing Rwanda open. To me, that's what I like to always tell myself, even when I'm going to think about business, and Rwanda is open.
Yes.
It's no longer just here. Rwanda is open to the world.
Yeah.
We're seeing people coming in here to invest, to visit. We're seeing people coming to learn from Rwanda, and Rwanda going out to learn from other countries. And so the connectivity of the world becomes now something that we have to put to use, especially as youth, the next generation, but also as a country in general. Right. So to me, what I expect so much in this coming mandate is more of the accessibility, because we have built, we are building so far. We've seen the past mandate. We've seen the rise of arenas. We've seen stadium coming, like the cricket stadium. We've seen Canal Olympia infrastructures. We've seen not just even in infrastructures. We have also seen laws. We have seen the intellectual property law that is just here.
Yes.
In the new Gazette, it has been even more improved. And so what we are now looking forward is to now see the things that we have. How do we now start following up and actually coming from policies to action?
Policies to action.
Policies to action. How do we take the laws? How do we make sure that the implementation is at its 100%?
Right. It is not what the country can do for you, but what you can do for the country. And I want to push that to you, Parfin, especially picking up from what Andy mentioned in terms of now moving from policy to action. What then, even as we expect or lay our expectations for the next mandate and those steering this next mandate, what then will be the role of ordinary people like you and I, all of us, in this execution of the big dream that lives alive within the vision bearers of the next mandate that is started now? What would be our role? What would be your role?
That would be not actually positioning ourselves as outsiders of the government. I think Kwiza mentioned something very nice where he said, think fast, do faster. So that's like more of a motto what the government institutions are actually doing. But then when it comes to we, the Rwandan citizens, we are like we are shielded. Now, since we are shielded, we are like, they got it. No need of intervening or something. So now if we position ourselves as outsiders, that's where it comes, that's where we make it as a one-man thing, when he actually even himself said, I can do this on my own. So now the trust that we gave him should be the same trust that he puts in us. What he expects us to help the government and himself with, let's actually be active, voice out, and put in actions what we think could actually take our country from one place to another.
Yeah, that's interesting. Eric? Yeah.
For me, I would like to go back to the referee system because, example, there is a policy, as Andy said, there is new policies which are being amended so we may follow it. There is a policy which is called 4x4 reform.
Yes.
This is 4x4 reforms. It's to quadruple the health care workers so that we may prevent the people who lack access to some services because a lot of people who are going to be a burden to the healthcare workers. So this can't be achieved without our own participation. I say this because universities nowadays are doing twice intakes for achieving that 4x4 reforms. So if the youth are not participating in that activity, I mean by running, by accessing all the materials which government gives you, opportunities, trainings, so that policy can't be achieved.
Yeah.
So that is the role I can mention for here.
Yeah.
And also there are some hubs which are created. Yeah. For now, our government is trying to formulate at Masaka, there for IRICAD Africa. That is the hub for training some people for some specialities to go there and learn. So if we're not motivated to go and learn, that will be a loss to the country. Yeah. So this is a great thing which you have to participate in, so we may be able to achieve the policy of the government as well as our own benefits.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I'm going to come back to you on that. Andy, I want to hear what you think, especially when I ask about what we can do. I'm also thinking about the sector that you're in. I mean, you were of those within the media space, the platforms that millions will be able to tune in to just listen and either change a habit or a behavior, or understand something they never understood. But also the music space. I mean, musicians. I mean, you guys are very powerful. A language that people might not understand, but they'll still dance to it and they'll still connect. I want to hear from a sector, those two areas that you sit, comfortable in. In what ways then would you be able to support the achievement of the vision within this next mandate, but also in terms of accountability, pushing for accountability and ensuring that citizens are not sitting back easy, even when probably there's a lack of accountability in one area, that they're not waiting until the president is visiting a village or a district for him to hear about the problems that are happening in that area.
Amazing. I will speak in two parts, of course. I'll start from the entertainment industry.
Yes.
We are seeing the growth of entertainment industry. Entertainment industry is one of the things that attracts tourism in the world. When we are looking at the movies, at the songs, at the fashion, at different visual arts, when it's well used, it can attract a lot of people to their country, which actually benefits to the income of the country. And for that industry to work well, is that the ministries or the people in charge of that work closely with the artists. And it's something that we have really seen from the past days. Now we have the Ministry of Youth and Arts. That's something that has never actually happened before in Rwanda. We are seeing arts in a ministry.
Yes.
Usually arts used to be here and there.
Yes.
But that has brought actually a very nice change, because we're seeing now the inclusion of artists and all the beneficiaries in the policy making, which is actually something that's nice, because however much you can be somewhere deciding for other people, if you don't know what exactly they're looking for to have, you might find that you're missing the priorities.
Correct.
Now, to our side as the people that are in the industry, I think we need to restart again thinking about how we actually make we unite. Because through unity is only where the government can help us better, not as individuals. When we speak of unity, I'm saying creatives in general,
umbrella,
yes, social umbrellas like that. Because one of the things that is also still a challenge, we are speaking of funds and access to funding.
Correct.
So access to funding is something that can only be done if you have a board, if you have a place where the government is able to help you as a board, not as individuals. And that is still something that has to be worked on so far.
Right.
Now, if I come to the media itself, we're seeing now media is no longer for the people who studied media. Everyone today, you open a channel and you are reporting what is happening all over the world.
Smartphone and
on your smartphone, on your Twitter, you open an account, and tomorrow you have subscribers, and they look forward to actually hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I think that that's also a very challenging thing, because now the information is
distorted
somehow. We no longer know what's true and what's not, because the truth is just subjective to us who has said it. And now we need to see media really be more professional and careful, because as we just seen even in our past, media has played a big part in separating the people. Now we need to be careful in terms of how do we take media ongoing, because before we know, even the people with the wrong agenda will come to actually be there, and before you know, we have people who no longer know what's best for their countries.
Right. It's powerful. And I want to just pick up from there and now start hearing your wish lists, especially as the government formation takes shape, as ministers, get appointed. The yellow paper comes out with names now. I want to just let us speak from a general perspective in terms of the sectors that we sit in, the kind of wish list. If you were to represent that sector, speaking on behalf of the people within that sector, Parafini, you talked about the creative industry that is also, supported heavily within the digital space. Talk to me about what you're expecting from that person that is taking up the ministry or the portfolio that speaks to the sector that you sit in.
Okay. On the creative sector side, I'll say more support. These guys are trying to be more innovative. These guys are trying to bring forth new stuffs, creative stuffs, things that are actually out of the blue, if I can say. So now actually being open to change when it comes to creativity, being open to hear new ideas and help in the implementation. And then when it comes to the civil society, what I'm looking forward to is more support again, and also inclusivity, if I can say, inclusivity, being included in decision making, and also be able to be part of the bigger projects when it comes to our country as a whole.
Yeah.
Yes.
So explain that for me, especially the bigger projects. What do you want to see?
Okay, so it's more of, yes, young people, we've been given the platform, but then what about if we take another step?
Okay.
Yes.
So you're saying we've proven we can do it.
Yes.
Trust us with bigger projects.
Yes.
That's what you're trying to say.
Definitely.
Okay. Eric, what's your wish list? The person taking up the portfolio of health in the sector that you sit in, what do you want them to hear and hear you loud and clear?
So actually the sector, it's a crucial thing to focus on now in the new term, because you see there is many challenges in the healthy, but as well as the country have energy to invest in, to attract partners, to attract what we call medical tourism. These things bring something which are crucial to the country. We get people who knows what you don't know, so this may be a benefit for us. I would like to give you an example. In past time, people used to suffer from getting service like transplant, like cardiac surgery, but last time we have seen that there is a big project our country has planning to expand some hospitals like in Faiso. We will no longer be wasting money to go outside, so every service will be based in a country. So I want that service to be also decentralized. Yes, to be decentralized means to go in also other locations.
Right. So different districts.
Yeah, different districts, different hospitals. We're having many hospitals which are being upgraded, but also they don't have that services. So it will be of benefit if all the people are able to access services nearby and easily. So that's my first wish in healthcare system. Also, I would like to ask for those people who are taking grade to provide space for getting trainings, internship for people who want to specialize. Especially, there are some specialty we don't have in the country, but I know the government is thinking what to do next. But I think this is a great thing. If they do it, it will be of good value.
By the time it comes up as a wish list, it means there's a challenge there.
Yeah, there's a challenge.
Tell me what's the current state of affairs. How is it like? What happens usually? On the aspect of getting a slot for internship for those who really just need to learn.
It's a big problem, and I advocate for these things. All hospitals are not at the same level, and the services which are provided they are not at the same. So what you run in class, you are not able to get it. All the students are not able to be in those big hospitals, so it will be overcrowding. So they disseminate you in some hospital, and you will be finding yourself getting half of what you want to get. So some services are not there. So I think if they decentralize those services and what you run in the class, you will be able to get it easily. It's around, it will be more favorable.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I can say. That is the only issue. So most hospital does not have some services. So we struggle to get there in the big hospital to learn what you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Andy, if my memory serves me right, I know there was a time when we had a ministry dedicated to information.
Yes.
And over some time, information or media-related stuff was now, put under the Ministry of Local Government. And I want to hear your thoughts, especially now speaking with your heart of someone within the media space and the challenges you mentioned that, bedevil the industry. If the appointing authority had your ear tonight as we speak, what would you advise? Would you wish to see that portfolio back? Or would you feel like where it is, service to supporting policy around media is being done, so we are good as we are? What would be your wish list for them now to take a pen and a paper right now and start writing and say, I think this is what we need to focus on?
Thank you so much. I will again answer this in two ways. As entertainment, as a person in the entertainment industry, but also in media. If I start from entertainment, it is important that we can stress enough something about capacity building. Capacity building is something that's needed in all areas, from each industry, especially, of course, in the youth. And if it comes to the opportunities that we are seeing in Rwanda, which comes again to, it's a matter of actually making it a priority as well, among the priorities, because we're seeing people coming. We're seeing Visit Rwanda doing an amazing job in bringing different experts. Yes, they're coming to visit, but they can be, can you be part of the deal though, to actually have it in the capacity building sometimes. That's one. Second is also making it something that we look forward to, like opportunities to have our youth rise their capacity in terms of knowledge, in terms of understanding and seeing where things are going and how best can they actually fit in. The second thing in the entertainment, it's important to stress about the intellectual property. The laws are here now, but let's make sure that actually, intellectual property is not even just in the entertainment. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Yes, it's everywhere. Yeah. So let's make sure that we create a Rwanda where if you are the creator of something, if you have put your hands to something, if you have put your brains and your heart to something, that should be something that could actually bring something on your table. And that is a very possible thing. It requires a lot of education because many industries are still into, I don't know, they are there.
Fence sitters.
We are seeing a lot of cases in the court of intellectual properties now because people have understood, oh, this is actually something I've worked on. So
I remember the apparel for the campaign. One creator actually had her design used by another one, and I remember seeing a post on X, see you in court. That's what you say.
Right.
Yes.
And so we're seeing that about the music and the media as well. We're seeing that in fashion. Today you design something amazing, and somewhere else he reproduces it and he's free to sell it. These things shouldn't be allowed. And we're seeing the visual artist, every person who's just wrote something, put the heart in it, and all of a sudden it's reproduced. We need police to actually...
it's the enforcement.
The enforcement.
So meaning the minister handling that portfolio from a policy perspective has done their work.
Yes.
Where the challenge is in enforcement.
Very important.
What about media aspect in terms of the policy and the home of media within the policymakers' perspective. Like I asked earlier on, there was a time we had a Minister of Information who actually was very close to the media, and there was a lot of that happening. Are you happy with the decentralization in terms of now saying Ministry of Local Government handles media-related issues? Rwanda Governance Board also has a media capacity development wing. Is that good enough, or you feel we need a Minister of Information?
Information is key, especially that everyone is connected. I believe that it's something that has to be in its area and be put the focus on, just like the way it was, just like you've said. Yes, the media is now changing. The media has
taken a ton of ICT. The Ministry of ICT is also handling. You know?
Yes, because ICT and media is a little bit different, to be honest. But when you look at it in a way, it depends on what is in the ministry. And is there a department for just the media, or there are people handling just ICT and media at the same time? So, of course, it takes a lot of energy to create a whole ministry for just one thing. But I believe that media should also be taken care of in terms of facilitation and also capacity building. It comes back to that. We shouldn't be a country where every person can wake up in the morning and
become a journalist.
Be a journalist. Because we need to create, even if it's just small training, but people need to know how and what to say when time is right. Now, also something that goes along with that is we're seeing Rwanda as a very well-positioned country diplomatically, and the collaboration between different countries, as we're seeing good collaboration in education, military, health, and etc. We should also see more of that into like youth department. Let's see how our youth are able to meet other youth from different sides, learn from each other in all those aspects, if I allow myself to speak generally. Entertainment, yes, media, medical, NGOs, media, etc. So it's important that we start having that cultural diplomacy with other countries that we meet. I believe Africans have a lot to teach to each other.
Teach each other. I think the person holding the portfolio of foreign affairs is taking notes on that one. Parfin, I want to ask you this, especially on the issue of passporting, the issue of moving your ideas beyond just Rwanda. Rwanda is considered as a proof of concept country. People come, try out an idea, find that it's working, you can scale up. Grow your wings and then work elsewhere. And I want to hear your thoughts, especially on the area that you actually are very strong in, that creative space that you are in. What would you need from this next regime to allow you to actually now say, look, my work, or I'm actually also working on a project in Nairobi. I'm also working on a project in Uganda. By the way, there's someone in Texas who we are actually delivering for, because the environment here has enabled us to open up. Like Andy said, we are a global village, and if we can connect, then it becomes better. What would you need from the next mandate to allow you to be able to get to that level?
Great, thank you. Personally, I think it's a two-way thing. So first of all, we've been given platforms. We've been given several platforms to the point where young people, when you see someone who's not doing something, you're actually like, what's wrong? What are you lacking? So now we've been given platforms where young people get funds, where projects are funded, where people are mentored.
Be careful, someone will be like, where's that money?
Oh, sorry.
Parfin.
Yes.
Or you know where it is, tell us where it is, we'll go for it.
So that's the thing. The thing is that now with everyone open-minded, everyone wants that platform. Everyone wants to be involved. Everyone wants that kind of money so that they can actually try out their ideas. But now what I feel like will be needed with this second mandate is more. Let's get more of those platforms. Let's get more of those mentors, those funding sponsorships, so more to that.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think it's okay. So let's get more so that even those who were left behind or who think they can actually improve and go beyond, and even those who are actually doing things right now but want to go beyond, they can get what they need right now so that they can improve.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then personally, what I think I need, yes, it's more of partnerships and also mentorship. Yes. So I want this next mandate to open doors to young people. Let them hear us, yes, and also be able to help us, like bavuga ngo iki mu Kinyarwanda, tanga ugutwi kumva, or
Tanga ugutwi kumva.
there is a very good term that they use in Kinyarwanda.
That day in my class I was absent. Yes.
Yes, just make sure that young people are well equipped.
Give them a listening ear.
Yes.
All right.
Give them a listening ear.
I like that, because at the end of the day, you know, if we are to talk about mentorship, if we talk about opportunities for learning and brushing off good skills, I think they should be a given. I don't think young people should beg for it. I also don't think that those with the authority to be able to give it should keep it up to themselves. But sometimes there's a challenge that some people argue and say, but when we give the platforms or when we give the opportunities, some people take it for granted. A lot of young people would be like, you know, it's an internship, it's a training, so I will come the time I want to come and I'll go the time I want to go. So I just wanted also to be fair and also be understanding in that sense, so that if such opportunities come up, those who really want it are actually going to go hard on them in that sense. But on that note, Eric, I want to understand, especially thinking global. You know, if we continue just thinking local, then the world is running, it's moving. I remember President Kagame once said there's a lot of catching up to do, because Rwanda was held back with a lot that has happened in this country. So how then, from the health sector, do you foresee this next mandate supporting the sector to be able to serve the region beyond just Rwanda? You know, because earlier you said there were challenges. We had capacity issues. You still say we still need training. When are we going to get to that level? What will be needed?
So what will be needed is energy and being motivated. So, you know, in healthcare system, the last three, but now it's somehow improving. They used to say it's a good job, it's a good career, but they get few earning
payment.
Few payments. That is kind of a setback to the healthcare. So I think this term have to look away how they can motivate those people who are in that sector, because they hard work. They work with all their efforts to be able to serve the people with good services. But at the end, they stay saying, we don't get what we deserve. I think this is the issue they have to look on. And I trust my government, because each issue people rise, they look the way to handle it safely and sustainable. So this is the biggest thing I look forward to be corrected in good way.
Right.
The next thing is those people about insurance. Some insurance in Rwanda, except those people who have private insurance, they can afford those services. And to afford those services, it's very expensive for those who use the normal insurance. So I know they are working on it, but they have to make it quick and faster for all the people may get insurance, which can help them to get the service they need. So for the infrastructure, nothing I can bring for them, because they are doing a lot of things which I can't mention here. So this is for us to be able to have enthusiasm, to be able to run, to be able to bridge the gap which are in some specialities in Rwanda, so that we will be having a good quality of life, and our standard of living, of course, will be increasing in that sense. And especially when you're talking about now the cost of living, taxes, we talk about youth employment and unemployment and underemployment. We've seen this wake up some demons, for lack of a better word,
in other countries, and we've seen uprisings, young people going to the streets. Yes. Yeah, most of them going and they're having placards and they are rising up against their governments because they're feeling that they are not being taken care of in that manner. I want to read your thoughts. What is it that must be done? Because I know Rwanda is different. There's not been such incidences. You know, what must be done to avoid such scenarios? I know we've touched on some of them along the lines of how we've been speaking. But what should be done to ensure that we never get to that point as a country?
That's a very amazing concern. I think, to me, it all starts by creating homegrown solutions. Because if we change the mentality of what is actually a good job, sometimes we see youth who end school and they want to sit in offices. You know, to you that's what a good job is.
Yes.
You know, but where does that mentality come from? If we look to the reality, so I think maybe we should also start upgrading the education and seeing what is
the jobs of the future.
Yes.
How do they look like?
Absolutely. We're having in the families today. Young people want to become creative, but the parents are like,
that's not a job.
That's not a job, you know?
I want to be a celebrity couple. That's not
or an influencer.
Or an influencer.
Yeah,
yes.
So I think we need an understanding shift to also help the youth and the families and be able to create homegrown solutions.
Yeah.
I was looking at the news lately saying how Singapore, everyone over 40 in the institution had to go back to school to learn the use of AI. And why? Because back then when they were at school,
it wasn't there.
It wasn't there. Now we're having more things that are coming on board. So are we matching our education system with the realities on ground today? That's a question, and that's a whole other debate. And that's the first. And something else that comes with when I say to create homegrown solution is we need to help the youth understand that from the place you live, you can create the business from there. We don't look at, for example, this man called Ngabo in Wigogwe, right? He's worked from home and create homegrown solutions, tourism from home. But when you're looking at the numbers of youth that are coming because they think Kigali is where the life is, maybe then we need to do a lot of work to actually help the youth create solutions from the place they live and create business from the place they live in. Because otherwise we start seeing an imbalance in cities, you know, and that is what creates sometimes even lots of number in one city or another that actually looks like there's a lot of unemployment here than there. When actually there's still opportunities somewhere, but they are untapped because of what we think and where we think is the life. So that is a paradigm shift that we need to really be considerative about, and also be able to match the investors with the capacity of the youth. Because if we look at it sometimes, we face also a challenge in the youth of where, yes, the investment is there, but you're required to have more to have the investment.
Correct.
You need to have done something big. Let's say, for example, you must have done a bigger project to win another a big project.
To prove that you can handle.
To prove you can do that.
Yes.
So
yet it's your first time.
Yet it's your first time. So let's start centralizing those big funds to where a youth can actually have an opportunity to start with just a little money, you know. It's being done, let's do more. And there is also something that we were talking about lately, about how much we have sometimes information and they are not shared well. Sometimes there is opportunities that are seated in institutions.
Yes.
And the youth is also saying, we didn't know, and the institution was like, we said it. So
how they said it did not reach.
We did not reach the beneficiaries. So let's also make sure that everything is used the way it has to be used. If there's an opportunity in the ministries and institution, different places, let's make sure that we announce it enough so that even the people that are the beneficiaries are able to know that the opportunities are there.
Yeah.
And otherwise, don't worry about the youth who says, no, the trainings are there, we want to go. I'm sure there is one who are taking the opportunities.
Seriously, they're taking
and the
serious.
one who are actually taking it serious, they're getting the benefits.
Right.
So it's a fast word, and we have to be also a youth who don't take anything for granted.
Right. Right. I like that. Yeah. You want to chip in?
To add on, and is what he said, youth have to stop looking for what people did. They have to scan around and see and connect with what they learn, they scan environment and try to bring something new in the society. Because nowadays you see all the youth are going to be a singer, for example, but the style of singing is the same, like the one who is already taking Wagafasha, I don't know it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that is a bit a setback because you are going to compete with someone who have already
Made it. Yeah.
So I motivate the youth, I inspire them to look around and they bring something new.
That is missing.
Yeah, that is missing. You can take Andy's song, but you add something new.
And then Andy will go to RDB and say, you've taken my style.
We need to also collaborate.
Collaboration, yes.
That is my idea, because it's a big problem. All of us, we are going to go in healthy sector. We are going to need to be a doctors. Yes, there are some sectors
Which also need people.
We need people, and they may give it a job.
Right, right.
So this is a big problem. So I motivate the youth to look around and say, I can use these things to bring something new, and which will be at the market. And I motivate them to visit the youth centers, maybe, because for those people who don't have internet, who are away, I know each region nowadays have youth centers.
Where they can find those facilities.
Yeah, and those facilities are there, capacity buildings, those grants are published there. You see on the boards, this is grant for this and this. So I hope everyone will be able to access. If everyone open eyes and ask, then implement what he or she has learned.
Right.
I think a gap will be bridged.
Will be bridged. Parveen, I mean, especially this animal called unemployment. And of course, we're talking about a population that is going to be the biggest. Africa is going to be the youngest continent because of its youthful population. And if most experts say if this is not handled properly, there's going to be a youth bust. There's going to be that particular, we'll lack to know what to do with this population. Now, even as this new mandate, takes shape, I want to understand what you feel should be the key priorities. You've touched on several of them in the course of this program, but what would be the main one? That one that you feel, this one, we really need to really look at carefully so that we are ensuring that we are taking advantage of our youthful population as opposed to having a youthful population that is going to be a problem for the country.
Okay, perfect question. But now what I see with this question is more on us young people rather than on the government. So what I think can be done is we young people should actually change our minds. Let's not think that what's trendy, the trendy jobs right now, is actually where the money is at, because that's not where the money is at. We think the 9 to 5, that's the ideal job. We think the singing is now the ideal.
No offense to Andy, but that's why he's also 9 Media. Yes.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's more of if it's fear, if it's fearing change. I'm not sure, but what you're lacking is actually tapping into what has not been explored yet. So now, and on the other hand, the government is actually asking us this something. Young people, you are the one with fresh brains. You are the ones
Give
with
us ideas,
yes. Let us know what can we do. Come up, do these things. They're enticing us to do the thing.
But the argument sometimes they say those in charge do not want that change in the sense of, let's say now AI. Maybe the head of department, the supervisor, is not at that youthful age to even understand what you're talking about. And so there's this intergenerational clash where someone is telling you, but do you know how many years I've done this job?
Yes.
Now you're coming to tell me this and that. You know.
I promise that can be a whole day, a whole week debate.
Yeah.
Because that's actually something we young people are facing when it comes to the working environment.
So what should policy do? The new mandate, ministers will take place, they'll start forming policies. Should they reduce the retirement age then?
Should they? Definitely.
45?
Okay, what I would say is young people within working environments should be given the voice. Should also be considered as decision makers.
Right.
Yes. So not something where you bring up your ideas, they'll be considered just as formalities, but actually not implemented.
Right.
So now decision making within working environments should also include young people. So now, so that when those even fresh ideas that they are trying to bring up can actually be part of a bigger project that can be implemented.
Yeah, I like that. It's now time. I told you it's usually the shortest 1 hour. It ends so fast, especially when we now start to enjoy the conversation. And so I'm going to give each of you just, a few minutes to just talk a bit about some of the burning issues that probably we have not been able to cover in this conversation, and you just want to raise them up. Andy, I'll start with you.
Yes. To me, honestly, I think that we have touched base on very important key conversations. And just like she said, it's important that youth is given a space, which is something that is actually being done, because we have to have a combination of wisdom and knowledge. You know, our elders, just like you said, we shouldn't even have that fight because, to be honest, we complete each other. It's like, the more I know, I should be able to have the platform to say my point and another person bring what they know, and etc. Now, the most burning issue that now we need, I think, to me, I could put it in 3 words. To me, of course, is maintaining the security. Let's not take peace for granted. We are seeing youth sometimes throwing themselves into harsh conversation. We see social media, we see people trying to even forget where we came from. And so let's not take peace for granted. Let's make sure that we understand the cost that it took every Rwandan to be here today, and let's maintain the momentum.
Right.
And 2, it's something that we have to ask, yes, for this new mandate. It's more capacity building. And capacity building that is related to what is coming, because the world is changing every single day. And we want our people to be able to serve their country and not be like what we're seeing in the news, where we're seeing thousands of young people flee their country to go find life elsewhere. So let's make sure that we create a space, a peaceful space here in Rwanda, where people are able to create and also earn from what they created. And lastly is unity. Unity is a very important key aspect in the development of each industry, because we come from different backgrounds, and so we know, and so we keep encouraging unity from men, women, and all areas of life from people.
Good. Eric, in under 30 seconds, because now I'm told we need to go. Yes.
So for what I can say, it's to have a sense of collaboration and raising up each other. That's what I can say.
Okay.
Because when you get at the point, you have to look forward for what you raise there, and then you raise them. Then if they catch up, we'll be having a united country, so we can reach at the same target easier and faster.
Interesting. Parfin, just the same way we started, you're going to be the one having the last word.
Thank you. Same points with Kwizera, connectivity, collaboration between the government and the citizens. Let's not be there a gap. Let's not think these are unapproachable people. We are the decision makers. No. Collaboration, connectivity between the two. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. I want to say thank you. Like I said, the shortest 1 hour ever, and it's time for us to now start saying that we need to go. Thank you very much for making that time, and of course, for you who's been watching this particular program, I want to say thank you for being a part of the show. It's a conversation that doesn't end right here in these four walls. It has to continue on our social platforms. We say thank you for being a part of the show. I want us to leave. They're telling me Andy should sing, but we need to go. Andy will be singing for us at the backstage. Let's go. Thank you very much for being part of the show, right?
Thank you so much.
Asante sana. Thank you.